We last left off in the region of Dehistan, where the Iranian army defending King Nowzar is facing off against the Turanian army led by Prince Afrasiyab. In the last episode, we followed two warriors, Qaran and Qobad, who lead the Iranian army. The battle ignites when Qobad, the old and weary but proud Iranian soldier, gets killed in a duel against Barman, a mighty and menacing Turanian warrior. Qaran, who loved Qobad dearly and looked up to him like an older brother in arms, becomes devastated and consumed by vengeful rage. He lets out a loud battle cry and leads the Iranian forces to charge, so the two armies clash, and it is enormous. Despite being outnumbered by nearly 3-1, the Iranian army led by Qaran puts up an impressive fight. Qaran even takes on Afrasiyab's giant, menacing brother named Garsivaz, who is described as being as large as an elephant. The battle scene described by Ferdowsi features swords that shine like diamonds with spears soaked in blood, as if red drops fell from the sun itself. It is brutal and gory. Qaran is now the wielder of the mighty ox-headed mace and is doing heavy damage to Afrasiyab's army, so much so that the Turanian prince is forced to call up reserves to fight. There's even a brief moment in the battle when Qaran confronts Afrasiyab man to man, eye to eye. From Qaran's perspective, it's a terrifying moment where he feels as though Afrasiyab used some dark magic to blind him and tire all his limbs, pushing him to the brink of near surrender. Qaran manages to recover though, and push the Turanian forces back considerably, but by nightfall decides to withdraw his exhausted troops back to Dehistan to rest and regroup. In the aftermath of the bloody day, Qaran goes directly to King Nowzar's pavilion to deliver the report on the battle, but his first words are of abject grief and sorrow for the death of Qobad. Nowzar identifies with Qaran's pain, as he had been himself deeply in mourning for the loss of his own dear friend Sam, the great knight who mentored him to becoming a better king. Nowzar and Qaran share wisdom and philosophy about fate, life, and death, and how they are all ultimately in God's hands. Nowzar says, "In life we have days of joy and days of sorrow. Such is the way of the world." He recalls the prophecy that was foretold to his father, King Nowzar, about how his own reign would be imperiled, and grapples with the fear that he might, in fact, be doomed. Qaran ponders his own fate too. Ever since King Feridun placed a helmet upon him and bade him fight in Nowzar's army to avenge Iraj's death, he has never taken it off or laid down his sword. A soldier's destiny, after all, is to die in armor. The king and his general resolve to prioritize the safe transport of all women and children in the kingdom to the province of Pars in the south of Iran, known today as Fars. King Nowzar announces that he will personally join the battle. 2 mornings later, the Iran-Turan battle continues, with Nowzar and Qaran leading the charge together. But Afrasiyab's forces recovered ferociously. Despite the Iranian forces' best efforts, Afrasiyab's troops begin to gain the upper hand, killing and wounding many Iranian commanders and warriors. Nowzar laments, "My glory is dimmed. My doom was foretold, and now here it comes." Through tears, Nowzar embraces his children for a final goodbye. Fearing a looming invasion, King Nowzar and General Qaran retreat once more back to Dehistan, where Nowzar holds the line of defense while Qaran prepares an evacuation. Afrasiyab orders the Turanian troops to target civilians in Iranian homes and capture the women. Preventing this becomes Qaran's sole mission. So now we have two major fronts. In the north, King Nowzar defends the kingdom. Further south, Qaran is working to cut off the invading Turanians from reaching the civilians. But how can he do it? He must find a way to break their formation. That's when Qaran spots Barman, the enemy soldier who killed his older brother-in-arms, Qobad, and challenges him directly. The two fight viciously, but Qaran's fury propels him to fire a javelin through Barman's armor, knocking him off his horse and onto the ground, dead. Killing Barman successfully breaks the Turanian army's formation and forces them to flee, giving Qaran the opportunity to carry out his rescue mission by evacuating the women and children south to Pars. It is a decisive triumph for the Iranian general and his people, but back up north in Dehistan, the Iranian king is in deep trouble. When King Nowzar learns of the successful rescue mission, he attempts to retreat but is pursued relentlessly by the bloodthirsty Afrasiyab himself. This leads to their ultimate confrontation, and the two fight one-on-one through the night and into the next morning. Yet, as fate predicted, Nowzar loses the upper hand and is captured along with 1,200 noble Iranian warriors. The king has been taken, but Afrasiyab cannot enjoy it. He is still seething that Qaran outmaneuvered him, that the women of Iran slipped through his fingers. He turns and calls out to Barman, commanding him to find Qaran, capture him, and bring him back as prisoner. The Turanian troops go quiet, but then are forced to tell their prince, Barman is already dead, killed by Qaran, and the Iranian general is already on his way to Pars. Afrasiyab grows even angrier. He turns to another of his commanders, Veise, grandson of Tur himself and the father of the slain Barman. He gives a cold order. Qaran killed your son. Go to Pars and find him. Avenge your grief, and may it turn your heart to steel. Kill Qaran, and then destroy King Nowzar's family and his throne. Is all hope lost, or is there some hero in Iran who can help? We'll find out together in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to share it or leave a review. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more Shahnameh quests.